Welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. And at Specs Wines and Spirits, and they have finer foods, has been a Texas family-owned destination for selection and savings since 1962. It's your one-stop shop with literally thousands of wines, spirits, and beers at everyday lower prices. In the Rollo Insurance Studio, this guy to my left, Idris Ahmed, he is my MMA coach, jiu-jitsu coach, spiritual advisor. What would be the, I guess we're just grappling, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we're just friends, but that's probably the baseline level of that. And then we do a little bit of jiu-jitsu training in between.
So he wanted to check out the show. He's at Brazos Valley MMA. He's awesome. Say hi to Bubba if you go there, and Bob and the whole crew there. So today on the show, you were here for a little bit. What was your favorite part?
Honestly, I think just the complexity of the studio. It's actually insane about how much work you guys have to put in to make the show happen.
So this is our newest studio. We have one over there. That's where we did the show forever. This one's been around since September. It is awesome. Got cameras all over the place. Torniak, I snapped at you. I do that sometimes.
That's
I'm a snapper. What was your favorite part of the show?
I'm going to go Logan Lee.
Okay.
Talking some basketball.
Why Logan Lee?
You
learn when Logan's on.
I always learn. Things are picking up, getting ready for the tournament. I liked it.
I'm going to surprise Nick. I'm going to go to Nick here, and I'm going to ask him what his favorite part of the show was.
My favorite part was James Palmer. That's a good get. He was very insightful.
NFL insider James Palmer on the show. We had AT on there. We had our QB1, Stephen McGee, talking dynasties. What's the best NFL dynasty in the last 30 years? Was it the Patriots? Is it the Cowboys? Is it maybe this Chiefs incarnation going on right now? That and more. It's the Rewind. Check it.
If you look at the roster, the Eagles have a better roster. But Kansas City has the trump card.
The best quarterback.
The best quarterback.
And the best coach. Quarterback and coaching in big games, it's...
Isn't it funny? Wasn't it just last year there was a talk out of Philadelphia that they wanted to fire Sirianni?
Yep.
I mean, that's the life of a coach and a quarterback.
If you go back to that Super Bowl a few years ago against the Eagles, if Jalen Hurts, who played very well in that game, doesn't have that fumble, which was a return for a touchdown, I think Johnny was going through it yesterday, it would have put them up either 14-0 or 10-0, and the Chiefs tied it at that point.
Yeah.
That's not the only reason they lost, but that play right there.
Yeah, turnovers change the games very quickly. And in these types of moments, you only get so many opportunities. And that's what the Chiefs are so good at. They're capitalizing on these mistakes. And I feel very confidently. I mean, turnover battle. Obviously, we talked about that. So we're blue in the face. It matters every week. But also creating explosive plays. And I just feel like, I don't care who the defense is, who the Chiefs have on offense, I feel like Pat Mahomes is going to be able to generate explosive plays.
Yeah, and when I look at the Eagles, and I don't like to, but it seems to me if their vulnerable area is the secondary.
Yeah.
And that's Pat Mahomes. And, who may have a huge game if the Chiefs win might be that kid from Texas. Worthy?
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Fast, going against a sometimes vulnerable secondary, and got Pat Mahomes finding him. You got to account for the tight end.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the fast guys open a lot.
Are you a fan of this Taylor Swift stuff?
Of her music? Everything is about her and Travis Kelce? No.
Yes.
No on everything.
I could have just answered that with a no. I didn't even have to say.
Yeah.
Because if you meant the music, I could have said no.
If you meant the drama.
I said no. Just
so
no
does that mean
words.
that you're Spotify and Taylor Swift when you're doing your jiu-jitsu?
But my daughters love Taylor Swift. So
that's a hard no for me. Like, I'll listen to Elsa. My wife was laughing the other day. We were driving down, and Elsa comes on. It's on my favorites list on Spotify. I'm okay with that. Taylor Swift, there's a hard line for me, and I'm over it. And you know me, no one hates the Eagles more than I do. I despise them. But I almost want the Eagles to win.
Because of that. Yeah,
because of that. I want it to go away.
Hey, so it was good to see Wade play the way we're used to seeing him play. But a note that our staff put together, he didn't really attack the rim very much. When Wade is, I think, at his best, is when he mixes it up with hitting the three and also attacking. Do you see more attacking Wade here in the future?
Not if he goes 7 of 10 from the 3-point. let him stay outside. Let him stay outside and shoot all he wants at that point. I do think that I don't know if he's going to need to attack as often as he has in the past, and the reason being is because you have Zurich Phelps doing that. You have Manny getting into the paint. If Manny's going to be the second half season Manny that we know happens, then he's attacking. So I think that balances out the offensive threat around the perimeter. You still want him to attack. Obviously, you want him to attack because it keeps the defense off balance. And, if he does attack, he's not going to have to shoot as many 35, 37-footers. He's going to be able to inch in a little closer to that three-point line. Not that he needs to, because he has the capability of doing that. But I would love to see him a foot or two away from the three-point line instead of 5 feet away from the three-point line. I don't know how his injury is playing into him attacking. I think he looks good. I think in the South Carolina game he looked really well. He looked a little more explosive on that first step than he had in the previous 2 games. And so I think it's getting better, but I'm not sure exactly where he is. Everybody at this point in the season right now is a little banged up, and so that may be playing a factor. I don't know.
A&M hoops. You got Missouri coming up. Mizzou loses to Tennessee last night. Great game. I didn't watch it. Saw the highlights and read all about it. What can you tell me about Mizzou, and what are you seeing from A&M?
Well, Mizzou, it's so interesting because obviously you have this league with so many good teams, but so many teams that play different ways. And, one, I think the cliche about Mizzou that's been discussed, we all know 0-18 in the SEC last year. I followed Dennis Gates' career since he was an assistant. I thought last year was the outlier for Missouri, not year one when they go to the NCAA tournament. What they do, they're a little bit smaller, almost actually now that I think about it, kind of the opposite of A&M. A little bit smaller. They want to play faster. And what they do really well, they force a lot of turnovers. And I think the one thing with them is listen, Tennessee, to their credit, did rally last night. Missouri jumped out early, whatever. But Missouri's the kind of team, and teams have seen it this year. If you don't show up ready to play, they're going to pressure you. They're going to force turnovers. I know, we don't talk about basketball like we do football, about converting turnovers into points, but that's who they are. And there's been a couple games this year where teams just have not shown up ready to play. I think Arkansas was down like 23-2 to open the game against them. Mississippi State, it was the biggest. Missouri beat them, and it was the biggest win for Missouri over a ranked opponent in terms of margin ever. And so I think that's the big thing. Come in locked in, come in focused, because if you don't come in ready to go, you are not going to win that game. And I think obviously the positive news for the Aggies, you had a couple days off to prep for this one, kind of get healthy, all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, if you don't show up ready to play, they're gonna jump on you, and they're gonna make it ugly potentially very quickly.
James, I've asked folks who cover the NFL kind of a similar question. It's weird, my emotions when I think about this Super Bowl, because I look at the Eagles as a team, I'm like, I think they should win the Super Bowl. And then I keep reminding myself, yeah, but they're taking on Patrick Mahomes. How do you kind of caddy this particular game?
Yeah, I would say Philly has the advantage in every single aspect of this game outside of the 2 most important ones, which is the head coach and the quarterback. If you look at it from every other angle, this is the most talented roster in football. I don't know if it's particularly close, right? I mean, you got an all-pro right tackle, all-pro left tackle, Pro Bowl center, Pro Bowl left guard. You have the assistant coach of the year up as a nominee in Fangio. You have 2 guys up for Rookie of the Year. Your running backs up for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, they're just absolutely loaded in every aspect. They're a run-first team with 2 number 1 wide receivers. Like, how often do you say that, right? Like, they have 2 ones, and they're a run-heavy offense. And so I do think, though, you just don't pick against Patrick Mahomes. You just don't pick against Andy Reid in Kansas City. I've covered it enough. I've been to all of the Super Bowls. So I think Philly is just unbelievably loaded. They've had a great season. I think it's going to come down to Steve Spagnuolo is going to make Jalen Hurts make some plays. And I think KC is going to be fine if they go, we'll make Jalen beat us. And if he does, that's how we lose this game. But I don't bet against Patrick. I don't bet against Andy. I think we've all learned that lesson. But if you really look at the nuts and bolts of it, Philly should win. But those 2 are just so good.
James, it just hit me as I'm talking to you. I should have maybe even led with this. Ohio State wins, and you're a Philly guy, right? So this could be an amazing month for you.
Yeah, I am Philly born and raised. I mean, I would say this, covering the league, for the last 12, 15 years, whatever it's been, my fandom has waned, I would say. I'm a little bit further removed from wearing that. You guys remember that hutch that you used to get with like the helmet and the jersey and the shoulder pad? I did have a Randall Cunningham, one of those. I did love Mike Quick and Reggie White, but like it's changed a little bit. This is more for all my boys back home. So my sister survives teaching on Monday and doesn't take this out on the kids. I mean, this is for the family. This is for everybody that I hope really comes away with this win. And I do think, like, I know people find Eagles fans repulsive in some capacity, and they could be a bit much. But being down here in New Orleans, there is a bit of a vibe of like, can they please like just beat the Chiefs?
All right, going to wrap up the show. Idris, you do nutrition, you do fighting, you do a lot of other things, right? You're a professional fighter, right?
Yeah.
If folks want help with nutrition, how do they find you?
You can find me on Instagram primarily at Idris, IDREES _performance nutrition. Or if you're ever at Brazos Valley MMA and stop by, I'm usually there. So.
And if you'll help coach folks too in many areas of life, correct?
Yeah, life coaching, parental coaching. I'm not a parent yet, but I'll figure it out.
I'm not taking your advice then. All right, here, I want you to tell the people what to do.
What do you mean?
See, I got him.
Yeah, you got me digging, man. I don't know.
What do people typically do at the end of a YouTube video? What does the host usually say to the audience?
Share, and subscribe. I don't think you guys subscribe.
You did it. You figured it out. Like, comment, and share. Shakir is a good friend of mine. Shakir is a really good dude. Like, comment, share, tell your friends about it. We'll see you next time.